About an hour later,
This nigga pissing in the water. He pissing in the water. The head just looking at him. You just gonna do that in front of the guys, huh? She looking at you and you looking at her.
It was just standing there.
She gonna come bite it in a minute.
I felt so weak, I couldn't move.
I told you, it's the bit in the water. Bro, she wants your sack, bro. It was good job. It's Homiekwuan, and in this video, I'm be reacting to some animated horror stories. All the other ones is yeeks, bro. So like, I kind of skimmed through them to make sure they wasn't yeeks. Now, I did not skim through this one, so if it's yeeks or if any other, if any of the other ones are yeeks, you know, it's not my fault. I tried. Some of these are just terrible, bro. But we finna see. Let's go.
I had 3 really good friends, and their names were Kevin, Ryan, and Tommy. Every summer, our parents would take us on a vacation. We always stayed in a remote cabin in the forest of Minnesota. The cabin was located on a large island in the middle of Lake Vermilion. Eventually,
let's just notice how they took the time to make his hair actually shake just from driving the car. Look at it. Look at his hair.
When we were old enough, our parents let us go to the cabin on our own for the first time.
So this might be a good one.
We parked the car on the gravel road beside the lake. Then we had to take a boat across the lake, about half a mile to reach the cabin. There were a few other cabins on the island, but they were all at least half a mile away. The cabin was quite small and only had a kitchen, a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms. At night, it was pitch black. There were no street lights for miles, and the only light came from the moon.
Be honest.
There were no curtains.
Now be honest. Would y'all go in a house like that? Let me know in the comments. Would y'all go in a house like this? Because I wasn't.
When you were sleeping at night, you could see the moon shining down on the trees and the lake outside. On the 3rd night of our trip, we set up a campfire by the edge of the lake. The moon was full and the pale white glow was shimmering across the lake. We were gazing up at the stars when all of a sudden we heard a splashing sound, as if something was moving about in the water. Ryan suddenly stood up and pointed, saying, "What the hell is that?" We all looked in the direction he was pointing, peering into the darkness. After a while, I couldn't make out he was pointing at. I'll never forget the feeling of terror that came over me. The hair on the back of my neck stood up, and goosebumps appeared on my arms. I was paralyzed in fear. Out in the middle of the lake, there was a woman's head. It was just floating there on the surface of the water, staring directly at us. She had pale white skin and long black hair. Her hair was matted to her face.
Is it a person or is it chopped off?
Not even there.
That's what I need to know.
We tried to tell ourselves that it was just a loon. They are black and white birds that hunt at night, diving deep into the water. It didn't look like a loon.
My nigga, even if it was, that don't make sense, man. I'm not even gonna say nothing about that. Birds that go deep into the water. So what? Birds know how to swim now? What? Let me replay that. And even if that was the case, why is it a head at the bottom of the lake? That just lets you know, just get get out, bro.
We tried to tell ourselves that it was just a loon. They are black and white birds that hunt at night, diving deep into the water. It didn't look like a loon. But that's
I ain't never heard of no bird like that. Gotta look that up.
We threw some more wood on the fire and tried
Somebody
to forget
please tell
about
me, educate me.
But it still gave me the creeps.
Do something.
About an hour later,
this nigga pissing in the water. He pissing in the water that the head is floating in it. Look, the head just looking at him. You just gonna do that in front of the guys, huh? You just gonna do that in front of the guys? Like we want to see that.
So I walked down to the edge of the dock
go behind a tree or something.
Looking out over the moonlit lake, I noticed the thing was still there, but now it was much closer. It still looked like the woman's head, and it still seemed to be staring right at me. Its face was
I
still
told you.
extremely pale.
I told you. I told you. It's looking right at your sack. Get your sack right. I'll get your sack right. Yeah. That nigga thought he was Ride Wave. He thought he was getting his sack right. No, nigga. No. You got nuggets. Ride Wave filling ass. Put them things back in the box.
Get your sack right. Go get your sack right. Yeah.
As if it hadn't been out in the sun for years, and I could easily make out some facial features. The eyes and the nose. A feeling of incredible unease came over me as I realized it couldn't be a loon. There was no
She
way
gonna
a
come
loon
bite your
could
sack off in a
just
minute.
tread
You don't
water
put it
for that
up. You
long.
just got it out
There were
hanging
no
out, just
ripples
looking
around
at
it
her.
either.
She looking at
wasn't
you and
moving
you
at
looking
all.
at her. Watch
It
your
was just
sack.
standing
She
there,
gonna
stiff
come
as a
bite it in a
board.
minute.
I immediately zipped up my pants and ran back up to the dock to where my friends were, sitting around the campfire.
Out town.
I told
And
them
that
what
water
I'd seen,
look horrible. I lied.
but none of them
I
dared to
take
go
it back.
down to the dock to take a closer look. We tried to tell ourselves it was just a log or a tree branch, just floating out in the water.
No.
I could tell everyone else felt uneasy too. None of us really believed that. We went back into the cabin and we shut the door, locking it behind us. It was very late and we just needed sleep. None of us mentioned a thing in the lake. We were all trying to avoid talking about it, honestly. There were no curtains on the windows, and I was getting
Shit,
ready
I'm
for
drinking
bed.
into the mic. I forgot how sensitive my
Hey,
mic is,
I'm
bro.
Talon, and this is Ruckus, and I'm going to show
Y'all probably hear my esophagus going crazy and everything, bro.
you how to start an
I'm
online
sorry.
t-shirt business. Let's go. First, go to
It sound
shopify.com
good,
and
don't
start
it?
a
Here,
free
have
trial.
some.
Next,
never
create
mind.
your t-shirt.
Can't have none
You
of
can use
this. It's only a
I
little
couldn't
bit in
help
here.
but taking one last look. Peering out of the window, I could see the lake clearly,
Sound good,
illuminated
don't
by the full moon. But the thing wasn't there anymore. It had completely vanished. I let out a sigh of relief, thinking it was a log that just floated away. Or else
It was
it
a
sank
head
below
that
the
just floated
surface.
away and it's coming
Or
back.
perhaps it had been a loon, and it finally flown away. It was very hot that night, and we had to sleep with the windows
Ooh, I ain't gonna
open.
lie. I like how this look. This look like some Dubai type shit. I don't know. This Oh, okay, never mind. This is a room. I thought it was like a wall, like a hole in it. You know, like a hole in the wall, like a bed right there. That's what I thought it was. That's a whole room. Never mind, I don't like this. If it was like that, I was like, I could see. I
My
would have been
friend
like, yeah, I
Tommy
like
and I
that.
slept in one bedroom,
Cause it's different,
and
It's
my
different.
two other friends slept in the other. We left our bedroom doors open. I was finding it hard to sleep, very, very hard. It was the middle of the summer and there wasn't even a slight breeze. The heat was stifling.
Damn, my
As I
nigga, you
lay
sleeping
there,
in bed with your
I
homie?
thought I could hear someone
that's
walking
tough.
around outside the cabin.
These
I
niggas
kept
don't
my
get
eyes
no
tightly
hoes.
shut
No
and
hoes.
tried to tell myself it was just my imagination. It sounded like someone with bare, wet feet pacing back and forth. I was trembling with fear, but I felt so weak I couldn't move.
I told you. It's the bitch in the water. She wants it. Bro, she wants your sack, bro. She
The
wants your sack.
footsteps, they
Simple.
sounded like they were walking up the steps to the cabin
You should
door.
have put it up, bro. Like,
I
that
wanted
nigga
to
was- you
shout
can't
out
lie,
to
bro.
my
He was
friends,
just sitting
but I
there
was
with it out.
frozen in terror. Then the footsteps
And
turned
you got a
around
group of
and
guys
sounded
behind
like
you,
they
like,
were
bro,
running
like,
down
come
the
on now.
steps and toward the lake.
Zip that shit up,
After
Take
a
a leak,
while,
zip that shit up, bro.
the footsteps faded away, and there was only silence. I reached over and shook my friend
He
Tommy.
got that bob chin.
He was already awake and he claimed he had heard the footsteps as well. Just then, I was startled
nigga,
to
I
see
ain't gonna lie, that
Ryan
nigga scared
come
the shit
running
out of
into our room. When he stepped into the moonlight, I could see his face and the expression on it was very, very disturbing. He told us we need to leave. I asked why. What did you hear? He said, let's just go. He insisted. Let's get to the boat and it's time to go.
Hey, finally, somebody in these animations got sense. And it's the black nigga. Respect to whoever made this, bro. Cause I ain't gonna lie, the black niggas, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I love my white folks. I love the snow bunnies and everything else. But sometimes y'all be tripping, bro. Y'all funny as hell though. I fucks with the white people. But you can't lie. My nigga black niggas would. They niggas senses be tingling. They
just
get
ran
the fuck
back
out
into
of
his
there.
room. We followed him and found Kevin sitting on his bed, already packing up his things. Ryan was running around frantically grabbing his stuff and stuffing it into a bag. What's wrong? I demanded. Ryan, what the hell is wrong with you? Tell us. He just stopped in his tracks and stared at me. There was a haunted look in his eyes. I would never forget what he said. He told us he was turning over in his bed to get more comfortable when he suddenly saw at the top right corner of his window, someone was peeking in. As soon as he set his eyes on it, the face vanished. He said all he saw was long black hair hanging down
Right,
the
it was
window,
a floating head,
ghostly white skin, and one large eye staring at him. When he said that, it chilled us to the bone. We realized that if the face was in the top right corner of the window, that meant the thing had to be damn near 8 feet tall, or else floating in midair. I felt like I was going to be sick. Let's just go now.
That's why it looked like a floating head.
We packed our stuff up as quickly as we could.
8 feet though.
We grabbed our bags and ran out of the cabin, locking the door behind us. As we scrambled down the front steps, I glanced to the side and I saw footprints, bare, wet footprints, in the dirt all around the cabin.
She was in the house. Y'all
we ran down to the boat and threw our stuff in.
In my house.
We untied the boat from the dock and we sped off. I looked back over my shoulder and stared at the island, but I didn't see anything moving. However, I had the strangest feeling that someone or something was watching us. When we finally reached the other side of the lake, we tied up the boat, stuffed our backpacks in the car, and drove off. We had been driving for about 10 minutes when, out of the blue, Ryan suddenly broke down sobbing.
God damn, why you crying? Man up. Crying and shit. Ain't nobody die, ain't nobody get hurt. This nigga crying for. That buddy be sweating.
He kept saying over and over.
That can't be crying.
What was it, guys?
I mean tears.
What was it? What did we see? On the way, we called our parents. What happened? Ryan was
this nigga on the left. So
we didn't
cool,
know what
bro.
to do.
With his mustache.
They told us to just get home safely and quickly. My friend's dad went up to the cabin a few days later and said he saw nothing out of the ordinary. However, he did mention that there were bare, wet footprints all around the cabin, which he thought was odd. Whatever Ryan saw in the window really hit him hard. After his breakdown, he had trouble sleeping and ended up having to go into therapy. They gave him some pills to calm him down and allow him to get
I bet you this was the end of the story, bro.
As time went on, he recovered and ended up being fine.
He is.
But to this day,
the end of the story.
He still can't sleep unless the curtains on his window are completely shut.
My nigga, that's how you supposed to sleep, bro. These niggas, some of these niggas are retarded, bro. I ain't gonna say retarded, bro. I ain't gonna say that. Some of y'all niggas be acting stupid. Cause I know somebody who deal with special ed and shit. So I ain't gonna say retarded, but I only say retarded when I like mean that shit. Like when I really, like when somebody really piss me off or something. Who sleeps with their window like curtains open, no blinds, nothing?
Tommy and Kevin,
cool ass,
have both gone back and everything was fine. But Ryan refuses to go back, and frankly, I'm with him on this one.
Gotta hit me with an ab. That one was yeeks, bro. It was good storytelling, but you know, ain't nobody died. Somebody gotta get murdered, bro.
I spotted one in the old
Crusty
building.
ass toes.
The sign said it was on the 6th floor.
Damn.
When I
Let me
walked
know.
through the entrance, there was a dark hallway.
Stop talking
with
for
him
me.
on this
Let
one.
me. We gotta go back.
One evening, I was
Damn. That nigga walking on the middle of the block. He walking on the block. No socks on. Just like an African.
looking for an internet cafe because I needed
Respects
to
to
send
my
a few emails.
Africans out there, you know what I'm saying?
I spotted one in the old
We do
building.
it big.
The sign said it was on the 6th floor.
Even though I'm not African, but you
When
know.
I walked through the
still
entrance,
do it
there was a
big.
dark hallway.
You know what? We ain't gonna watch that one.
I moved into Goldstein Hall for my freshman year of college. Goldstein Hall was your typical 3-story dormitory, built in the 60s, and had seen better days. My room was your typical cinder block dorm. It wasn't very fancy, but it was home for the year. I quickly threw myself into the college lifestyle. Classes, sports, parties, and living on pizza. Things were normal at first.
I don't know why, bruh, but niggas in college is always eating pizza. I don't know why. I don't know why. And I'm saying that like I've been to college before. But I'm saying like every time I like hear about college, what they be eating, they always eating some damn pizza and shit. That's tough. It's tough for you college niggas. I wonder if y'all be eating anything else. Probably do. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
My roommate Alex was a very shy kid who liked computers and watching football games. But he was homesick, and he spent a lot of time at home.
Okay.
So I would get the room to myself. One day while typing up a paper on my computer, I felt a chill go up my back as my TV suddenly turned on. I was creeped out, but I tried telling myself that I must have accidentally hit the remote button, even though I knew it was on my bed. There were times I would hear knocks at my window, but nobody would be there. Or I would have my door open and see it slam shut, as though it had been hit with a gust of wind.
Ain't this like his first night? I would have left. No, I would have left. I was red as hell. I would have left, bro. I would have shook. Why they starting it off like this? This might be some heat.
One day I came home to find my radio was on, even though I knew I had turned it off when I left for classes that day.
Unplugged.
I would see books being out of place, and there was this one time that my Phillies baseball cap that I couldn't find for a week suddenly appeared on top of my computer.
I rock with hats though. I rock with hats.
Every once in a while, I would smell the strong smell of cologne in my room, despite the fact that I don't wear cologne, and Alex was almost never in the room. Each time something weird happened, I always tried to explain it away to myself, with less and less success. The weirdest incident of that semester happened when Alex and I were sitting in the dorm, watching Thursday night football. When out of nowhere, our microwave came on for about 5 seconds, and then stopped. Alex and I looked at each other for a moment, not saying a word. Then we went back to just watching the game. He wound up skipping his Friday morning classes and immediately went home the next day.
Go grab some pizza?
The end of the semester came, and Alex decided that he was going to transfer out of the school. I wasn't too surprised, because I knew that he wasn't really into going here. After finals, I decided to be nice and help Alex load up his car. My family wasn't going to pick me up for winter break until the next day, so I had no problem with helping the guy move out. We had just finished packing up Alex's car in the parking lot, and we started to say our goodbyes.
Alex, you need a haircut, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You need a haircut. You need everything. You need a new shirt. Like, bro. But a shirt cool, but you need a haircut. Wash your hair, bro.
Alright.
When Alex suddenly looked at me with a serious expression on his face, he then said, "I don't know how you can stand being in that room. You know what I'm talking about." I then let out a deep breath. "Yeah, I know. I'll be fine. We then shook hands, and I
would've been
watched
like,
Alex leave
yeah, okay,
Goldstein Hall
give me a ride too.
for the last time. Luckily, nothing weird happened that night, and over winter break I managed to convince myself that I was just having an overactive imagination. The new semester started in mid-January of 2006, and I was excited for my new roommate. This time it was a guy named Matthew, who was redshirting for the football team. Matthew was pretty nice, although I didn't have a lot in common with him. Matthew stayed for about the first week of classes, and then immediately switched to another dorm. He didn't even say a word to me about it. I came home from classes one day, and all of his stuff was gone. When Matthew left, all the strange stuff that had been going on in the previous semester started up again. I was willing to deal with the weirdness of the room, because I liked having a double room to myself, for the price of a single room. As a means to cope, I started drinking more. Hey, I was 19 at the time.
Weird, buddy.
I learned to ignore it when a weird chill went around the room, or when my favorite sweater would be on my bed instead of in my closet where I had left it, or when I would fall asleep in my bunk bed and hear rustling on the bunk above me, even though it should have been empty. Denial is a beautiful thing.
Somebody living in
the year
there
eventually started to wind down, and in early April,
ghost, I guess.
I wound up getting really drunk at a lacrosse party. And we're talking really drunk, like just short of being hospital drunk. My friends Mason and Ryan walked me home that night, and I remember them helping me get into my bed and placing a trash can right next to it just in case I got sick. I then fell into a deep, drunken sleep. Suddenly I felt water splash across my face. A guy that I didn't recognize stood over me, holding a water bottle. From what I could make out in the dark, he was a short, stocky guy with blonde hair and brown eyes. He yelled at me that there was a fire and that I needed to get out of the building. Confused as to how he got into my room and still being pretty drunk, I somehow managed to grab my phone and stumble out of the building, with the fire alarm blaring and the sprinklers going off. The guy was right behind me until I lost him in the crowd of residents and RAs who were standing in the parking lot in front of the building, waiting for the fire trucks to arrive. It turned out that some genius in his drunken state tried to set off firecrackers in the common area on the second floor, which started the fire. We were allowed to move back in 2 weeks later, after all the water damage was repaired. When I got back, nothing happened in that dorm for the last 2 weeks. I tried looking for the guy that had woken me up in the dorm, but I couldn't find him anywhere. And eventually the year was over, and I left that dorm for good. Fast forward to about Halloween weekend, 2006. I moved back home and switched to commuting to school because, frankly, I had had enough of the dorm life experience. I made friends with a kid in my drama class named John. John was your typical theater nerd. We got along pretty well. That Saturday afternoon, we were working together in the library for a test. Given that it was Halloween weekend, John and I started talking about our weird experiences. That's when I mentioned that I had been subjected to weird occurrences at Goldstein Hall.
Why he look high, bruh? God damn it, Johnny, you smoking that shit again? Johnny, why do you keep smoking that shit? I don't know, man, I just been smoking it, okay? What? Johnny, you gotta stop smoking that shit, man. Shut up, nigga, you been smoking it too. Both of these niggas are high as hell.
John looked at me dead in the eye and said,
What did you say, nigga?
John went on to tell me that in April of 1986, a group of guys who were in a frat decided to set off a smoke bomb inside the common area on the second floor of Goldstein Hall. It started a fire that quickly got out of control, and a student died. He was found in his dorm on the first floor, apparently dying of smoke inhalation while trying to escape. Naturally, the story spooked me, and feeling immensely curious,
Right, 'cause it was in your
I asked John if he wanted to look up the yearbook archives that were in the library. He agreed, and we were able to find the 1986 yearbook. I thumbed through the yearbook, and then froze when I found what I knew I was going to find. There was a memorial page to the fire victim, Kevin W. Anderson, born August 15th, 1967, and died April 6th, 1986. The smiling photo of Kevin looked exactly like the guy who had woken me up in my dorm the night of the fire.
Oh shit. Damn. Bruh. When I saw that picture, I thought he looked familiar. I was like, wait. I was like, damn, that nigga look familiar. But damn, at least he saved his life. Hey, this clean, bro. This clean. I think I'm gonna end the video off on this one. It's clean. Oh yeah, I like that. I like this. Instead of, and look, he right behind him. Damn. That's clean, bro. Alright, so it is currently the next day in the middle of me editing this video. And in the middle of me editing this video, I realized that my audio was messed up on my outro. Y'all wouldn't be able to hear me if I would have put it on there. So I'm doing my outro now. If y'all like this video, give me a thumbs up. It helps out a lot. Subscribe if you want more, you know, for more videos like this from me. Let me know in the comments what y'all want next. Shit, even turn on the post notifications if y'all don't mind. And follow me on Twitch, by the way. I'll be streaming on there. So see y'all next time. Follow at Homiekwuan on all socials. Let me know in the comments what y'all want next. See y'all next time. I'm out.